and welcome back to another episode of Living for Sis, Living for Sis, oh, Living for Sis, Living for Sis, battle! Yes, hello. I am Sis. I am the founder of the Next Generation Project. I am also the creator of our offering and a Christmas offering, and I'm so excited today to sit down with my girls, with my sisters, and have a little chat, honey. So welcome to Living for Sis with the Grooves. So I'm gonna have everybody go around and introduce yourself and say a little bit about yourself and what you're most excited for this holiday season.
Hi, y'all. I'm Khadija Raquel. Some of you may know me as KD. Okay. I am an actor. I do hair. I dabble in a little bit of everything. Okay. And I am really, really excited for the way that we allow ourselves to connect over this holiday season, despite the conditions of the world right now.
Hey y'all, I'm Camille, actor, writer, sometimes dramaturg. I use she, her pronouns. I'm just really excited. I went sledding with my little cousins and that was everything. It was so fun and like everyone was so jolly and happy to be there. So that's what I'm really looking forward to and like continuing to do.
Hi, I'm Catherine. I'm an actor, I'm a singer, recording artist, content creator. I dabble. And I'm excited that I get to make and learn from my abuela this season to really make a roast pork the right way.
Oh.
So I'm ready to dive in with that. So, yeah.
Hi, I'm Sierra Nicole. I am the assistant director of this show, and I'm an actor and a singer, and I do a bunch of stuff. I'm excited. My friend is coming to my apartment, and we are making like ancestral dishes, so dishes that are from our grandparents and our great-grandparents, so that we can revel in our ancestry and find our true meaning of Christmas.
Hey, I'm Yasmin. I am a dancer, singer, actress. I'm so excited for a Christmas offering and all of that, and I'm really, really excited to decorate gingerbread houses, which I will be doing tomorrow with my family.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kaya Scott. I am an actor, singer, and artist. I'm most excited. I just opened an Etsy shop the other day, so I've been working on planning and packing orders and all of that. So it's been an exciting time.
Hello, everyone. I'm Brianna Audubons. I'm an actress, and I'm just now starting to, dabble in directing and writing. So that's been fun. This holiday season, I am just excited to see people open the gifts that I got for them because I love to see their reaction and how it makes them feel. So that's what I'm excited for.
Well, hi, I'm Lexi. I'm an actor, singer, disaster. And I'm really excited this holiday season just to kind of rest and take, stock of the year. I know it's been kind of a strange one, to say the least. And I'm just excited to kind of take some time to reflect on the year and also to watch a Christmas offering because I'm just so jazzed to see it.
Hi, I'm Sierra. I'm an actor, singer, etc. And this holiday season, I'm most excited about just spending time with my family and, doing our traditions of making pies with my mom and wrapping gifts for her and all that, and just being able to put this year behind us and wrap it up in a bow and throw it away.
Hi, I'm Jasmine. I am also an actress and a singer. And I think I think that I'm most excited this holiday season for, it's kind of weird because it's a weird year, so I'm not really sure, but I think I'm excited because my mom is very excited about the presents she got people. So I'm excited to see that because she really likes making us happy and she's so excited. So I'm excited to see what she has for us.
Hi, I'm Celia Rose Gooding, actor, singer, empowered mover, activist, truly many things for a cute coin. But I use she, her pronouns. And the thing that I'm probably most excited for is the rest that's coming after this holiday season. It's been a real busy, real turbulent, exhausting, enlightening time. And I'm just ready to have a moment of reflection. And I don't think I can reflect until we've stepped out of it. So I'm ready for the step out and the reflection that follows.
Hi, I'm Eva. I am an educator, fledgling writer. What am I excited for Christmas? This is going to be my first Christmas by myself. So I think with the holiday, I'm not feeling excitement, but a lot of reflection on what Christmas has meant to me in the past, how I can still find joy and celebrate the holiday. And I think a Christmas offering is like really like the star on my tree this year, almost literally, because I'm just so excited for it. But yeah.
There's a little show I used to watch and I love dramatic. It's called Big Brother. And Julie Chen always says, expect the unexpected. And I think that in 2020, the girls were put to the test, bitch. And we all had to learn to expect the unexpected. So now that you know what the unexpected has in store for you, and you know that these dreams and these goals and the plans that you always have in life could be fucked at a day's notice, what did you learn? How are you going to cope moving forward? How are you somebody that you can't operate without a structure? Are you somebody that can operate without a structure? Things like that. Let's talk about that. I want to have like probably like 3 or 4 people talk about it before we move on to the next topic. But yeah, let's popcorn. Yes, Khadijah.
Okay, so the biggest lesson for me this year has been being present and going moment to moment, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know, how outside influences are going to affect any plans that you've made. And so I think living presently in each moment has been a huge blessing, as well as a huge lesson. And restructuring the way that I navigate life and making the structures for myself and what works for me, as opposed to adapting structures that were put on me through like school institutions, through family traditions and things like that. Especially because me personally, I haven't had a chance to go home all year. So I've been here just doing my growing and developing on my own. And so adapting new structures that work for the way that I move has been a big help.
My main thing this year was just knowing that I only can control what I can control. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't, okay, so I graduated last December. And then right after I graduated, I went into rehearsals for a show at the ensemble. And then right like a week after the show closed, Corona happened. And so I'm used to being in college, having rehearsals every day, doing stuff, always on the move, And so when this year happened, it was just so still and I wasn't used to it. And I'm like, it was nothing that I could grasp. And I'm so used to grasping something to say, okay, well, at least I have this that I can do at this moment. And then right after this, I can do this, you know what I'm saying? But it was like everything was just out of reach and out of touch. And that was hard to navigate, but I had to realize that I can only handle what I can control. And so, I can't put that pressure on myself to know that, well, if this isn't happening, well, okay, then that's fine. Figure out something else that you can do for yourself at this time and just be okay with it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's okay. Like and you have to remember that like what we're going through right now in this moment is only like a little speck of your entire life. You know what I'm saying? So you have to just make do what you can with what you have at the moment. And that's what I had to learn.
Yeah. Lexi.
Yeah, that really resonates with me because I kind of had the same thing where I, for a very long time, I think honestly up until this year, would define myself just by the projects I had done or the projects that I'm about to do. And like just, trying to stay working no matter like what it was. made me feel like I was worth something. And so having to sit in a room and just like everything shut down, you're like, all right, I can't work on anything. Who am I? And defining yourself beyond that it's been a journey. I'm still working on it. Even like just last week, I had a conversation where I had to just accept that like I am worth, X amount of like money or time or be like belonging, and understanding that not working on a project, like saying no to something is okay because it wasn't serving me. And that's fine. And I'm not nothing if I'm not working. And it's been hard. But that's, yeah, like I definitely I relate to that. Yeah.
Sierra.
I think it's interesting that everyone's kind of like getting to the fact or the point of like, not basing your worth off of your career, solely your career and what you're working on, because I feel, especially just as performers and as like young performers, we have such a habit of feeling like we have to get X amount of things done by this timeline. I know for me specifically that was my biggest issue. It wasn't necessarily like losing a set schedule, because I'm not like a very like down to schedule person, but just always kind of thinking ahead of like, okay, what's the next thing I'm going to be doing? What's the next project? What am I going to be doing 3 months after that? Again, so, just the not knowing was what was so unnerving for me. And you really have to, sit there and think like, well, who am I without this?
Right.
And so for me, it was a lot of not basing my worth off of getting something done by a certain age or like a certain time, and knowing that, okay, it's still going to happen. And just because it's not happening right now doesn't mean that it's never going to happen. Right. And so I had to kind of find a lot of peace in time, which is really hard because like, we go from not having a lot of personal time to having all this time. And so I think that was something that was really hard at first, but it was really such a blessing in disguise, because you finally get this time to be still and find new parts of yourself, find new passions, find new hobbies. And so I think once you realize that, like, you realize it's a blessing in disguise. You're so hard, but
yeah. And I totally relate. I totally feel that. I think that for me specifically, like this slogan that I have for myself, this living for sis, like I really want people to like pick it up and realize like and understand, like specifically for me, I'm not talking about myself sis, I'm talking about my inner sis. Like I think the power of sisterhood is such a like specific word, and I think it's so divine. And I think everybody holds in them their masculine and their feminine energies and all the other energies that encompass us. And I think the energy of sisterhood is the one that is about connection with yourself and also those around you. And so I think this year really taught us that, like, without all of that, all of the institutions that we are a part of, those close down and those can go and those are over. But at night and in the day when you are just with yourself, who are you here for? Are you here for them or are you here for you? And you can go through life, connecting yourself to these things, but at the end of the day, when that's done, the worthlessness and the helplessness you feel is so like, oh my goodness. And getting to come back home, this was my first time being in Houston as an adult. And getting to come back home and be like, oh, this is who I am. There would be moments in New York City where I would be at home and nobody would be there, and I'd be like scratching at the walls like, help me, get me out of here. And I would have to like go to Times Square and just look and be enamored by this space around me and remind myself like this is always where I wanted to be. But yeah, I think it's just a matter of taking stock of who you are and connecting with yourself. And so the next question that I want to talk about the metamorphosis of tradition. So like changing your everyday workings, changing things that you used to do and adapting them to now, whether that be your holiday traditions, whether that be your skincare routine, whether that be how you live, you know what I mean? What are some things as far as tradition that you have changed either this year or just like from when you were a child versus now, things like that? Kaya?
I would love to speak. I think a huge thing that has changed for me this year is learning how to say no. It has become my favorite word. Um, Setting boundaries has been the biggest thing because I think, I think for a lot of young women, we are very much conditioned not to set boundaries and to be, those yes people, those yes, and and I think I was tested a lot this year in that regard, um, and I think it has brought me a lot of peace to be able to say I cannot handle this, or I do not want to do that, or this is not bringing me joy. Um, and it feels like a giant bag of luggage has been let off of my shoulders since I have discovered it. It is very nice to know that taking like boundaries with other people, but also boundaries within yourself. Like, I cannot handle this right now. I need to rest.
Right.
And it's been a long journey doing that, but it has been a life-changing thing.
Yeah. Who else wants to go that hasn't spoken yet? No. Sierra, and then Catherine, and then Yasmin.
I changed my pronouns this year, which is an interesting experience, speaking on boundaries within yourself and then also sisterhood, and being able to experience sisterhood and being able to experience femininity, but like from this like weird outside orbiting perspective. Uh, because when you're in this like in between space, I can truly only speak for myself. Being in this in between space, there's sometimes rooms you never really know that you can fit in, and there's this constant like trying to alter your clothes and hair and makeup and face and whatever to like be a chameleon in the room so that you can be a girl, or you can be boyish, or you can be a tomboy or whatever. But now having the ability to just kind of be whoever I want to be and fit in whatever room I want to fit in and relish in the divine masculinity and divine femininity in like this beautiful balanced way has been really beautiful to come into, because truly coming into yourself and recognizing who you are at your base and then giving that base human a hug makes everything a lot easier to walk through and to navigate, because there's no lie that you're trying to tell yourself on top of trying to tackle the rest of the world.
Yeah, Catherine.
I would say for me, advocating for myself, which has always been very difficult when you've been trained that you're lucky to be in spaces, when that's your headspace all the time. And I feel like one of the gifts of this time, which is so weird to say, is learning when to be like, no, I cannot achieve this unless I have this, this, and this to get the work done, and not feeling bad or guilty that I'm asking for these things. And so I'm still working on it, but it has been powerful to be in those situations where people are, are like, well, we only can do it with this. And I'm like, well, then it's not going to be done right. So I can't do it.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that's been a new tradition that I'm going to be keeping.
Yes. Yasmin.
I think something I've been learning more and more of this year is like truly what self-care is, because I'm a person who's very like going. I like my planner, I like my day structured, and I like it full. So when I have like a day off or a day of nothing, my brain is like, this is your self-care day, like sleep till 2 p.m. and do nothing. Which sometimes can be nice. But then when faced with having to stay home and starting to do that every single day, I then realized that is not self-care. It's quite the opposite. So like if I need to sleep till 2 p.m. to work to like get myself caught up on sleep, that is great. But when I started to do that every single day and stay up till 3, 4 a.m. and only eat chicken nuggets, it was not great. Um, so um so I think like I recently started a new job and it's just like a remote job on the computer, everything. But now that I have to wake up and I have structure in my day, that I don't have to just all plan out myself, it's already there for me. I know on my days off, on my weekends, how to spend that time. And I think I'm more productive in what I do. And I don't, it doesn't, productivity doesn't always have to be like doing something, but like I'm having productive rest. And like I'm very intentional about if I want to watch this movie, I'm going to like intentionally watch it or intentionally watch this TV show that I really enjoy, as opposed to like putting something on because I'm just bored and I have nothing else to do and I'm rewatching something for the millionth time. Now I feel like I'm really intentionally doing it, and I'm doing it to make myself happy and for self-care. So that's like a balance that I've more recently come to understand, I think.
Yeah, it's all about balance. And Camille.
So this year, I sent all of my best friends, I mailed them like Christmas cards slash love letters. And that's a tradition I want to keep up for the rest of my life because honestly, they got them all throughout the month of December. All of my friends live in different states. And whenever I would feel down, someone would literally text me and be like, oh my God, girl, I got your card. Like, I love you so much. And really, the more love you send out, the more love you receive. So it was so nice to get those love letters back from my friends. And I just want all my friends to know how much I genuinely love and appreciate them, and they mean so much to me. So that's definitely a tradition I'm going to keep up.
Yes, yes. Well, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. I think that yeah, I get a lot of slack from a lot of my friends for being somebody who goes and goes and goes and doesn't take stock of, or people think, I think that I don't take stock of what my rest is. However, like I've learned at my base core, I'm a hustler. Like I am like ambitions as a rider. Like I will go, like that is my thing. Like it really enjoys it. Like when I don't like, I love stillness, and I'll like, and throughout my day I'll like take my breaks and I'll like put on some Meg and I'll just sit in my room and just close my eyes and just sit there for about 5 minutes. And I'm like, I'm good, like on to the next thing. Um, and I think one thing I've always lacked that my dad has always like commented on was like structure and how I lack structure. And I think that's one thing I need to change my traditions on, is just being more structured. But I think this time has really allowed me to figure out who I am, and I have I want to rest when I need to. I love being tired. You ever have a day where you just worn out and you like just lay in bed and you go? That is happiness to me. That is joy. And like when I'm just sitting there looking at the walls, like, like, bitch, I'm not tired, bitch. What's next? What's the next shake? You know, that I'm like, this is depression. This is anxiety. You know what I mean? So I like to wear my little stuff out. But yes, but I don't think that's always a bad thing. So yes, this is what I had to say for tradition. But now moving on to the power of sisterhood and the power of community. This year, I think specifically our generation learned what it truly meant to be a part of a community. Yes, it might have been online. Yes, whatever. And it's so funny because when we were little, people always said, don't meet people online. Don't talk to strangers, this and that. But bitch, you know, the girls was all we had. And meeting so many people from across the world and sharing and collaborating and creating with them. It has been so beautiful. Speaking of Mason, who plays Pilot Dwight in the show, I cannot ruin the show. Sorry. We'll talk about it later. But let's just say people from the internet can really change your life if you let them. Yeah. So talking about community and talking about sisterhood, have you opened yourself up to anything this year and really been like, wow, like I I wish I had been doing this all along, or I learned this. Oh, fuck. Let me rephrase the question. Okay, so thank you. Even when it got hit me with that, what was the question?
I understood your question. It makes complete sense. But my answer is sort of a non-answer, so I'm very sorry. I have noticed this year, I've taken a lot of reflection of just how sort of locked up I've been. And so I'm excited in 2021 to open myself up to more things. But just the way I process change and newness is I like freeze up and I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do here. So I'm going to wait until things feel safe to open up again. And so being a Black queer woman in America, there are a few pockets for safety and there are a few pockets for feeling comfortable to open oneself up. And so 2020 has been the year of like, let me maintain some sense of sanity and normalcy because everything is flying at 85 miles per hour. And if I try and open myself up right now, I feel like I'm going to get sucker punched in the face. And I realized through lots of therapy that that's just not a way to live. I would be doing myself, I would be doing my growth, I would be doing my joy a disservice by only living fully when I feel safe. And I say that to say that, like, yes, there is joy in falling into the unknown and just falling back and see what happens. But there's also being a woman of color, I know that there is not a lot of space for me to just nosedive and pray that somebody catches me, because 9 times out of 10, it's got to be the girls or it's got to be me to pick myself up and say, well, that didn't work. Now I know. And so I'm excited for the future and knowing that there will be more opportunities for me to just fall back and see what happens and know that I have a community that I found and loved in 2020. And I know that I can bring that community into 2021 with me and say, hey, y'all, y'all are my safe space. Y'all are my trusted group. Y'all are my people. Y'all are my safety and my home. So if things go wrong, which they may, I'm gonna look to y'all and know that I do actually have a space where I can fall back and be protected. And so I'm just excited to fall further into that feeling of safety and further into that feeling of being protected. Because as we all know, there isn't a lot of protection out there for us. But knowing that we are strong enough to be the people to lift each other up is something I'm really excited to fall further into next year.
Right. I really want to take what you said about if things go wrong, which they may. If things go wrong, and they will. I think going into learning this year that it's all going to be bad and it's all going to be good at the same time, because life and existence and as human beings, we ebb and flow, and we can't expect the good without the bad. And I think that is like the truest cushion, is having those people under you and having those things under you to know, hey, this shit didn't work. And now we're going to collect and regroup and go back out there and give it our hardest. And I think that's something really important that was necessary for this year. Anybody else? Jasmine? And Eva?
So this was actually before COVID, like right before COVID kind of fell apart. But at the beginning of the year, I was starting to work on my next show, which is The Wanderer, that's going to Paper Mill. And we did a week workshop before we were going to start our rehearsals, but we didn't get to start rehearsals because of COVID. And being in that room with my cast and the crew, I really learned what it was like to be first of all, very supported by the people that I was in the room with. Like, speaking of community, like that's what it should feel like. And what Celia was saying, like feeling so safe in a room of people that want to see you succeed. And I understood like my worth, like this is what I'm worth. Like, this is how I should be treated because I am worth this, I'm worth this much. I am worth, getting to work with these people. And that's something that I am very like happy that I'm getting to take with me throughout 2020 and further and on, you know, and then getting to work on this and getting to work with people who are so excited to be a part of something, and then being excited to get to know someone past just being in a show. I thought that that was really, really beautiful. And I'm happy that I got to experience that this year.
Eva?
I was going to ask you to repeat or to rephrase the question, because, you know, if I ain't got a prompt, I'm going to just ramble on.
Yeah, well, just talking about your community and talking about like existing in spaces and knowing that you have people around you.
Yeah, and I think that's been very, very interesting to examine this year. I mean, obviously, we weren't able to like physically be around people. We weren't able to, you know, have community and be in community in the same way that we used to be. And I think that was really, really actually not tough for me until very recently, because, well, you know, we used to get on FaceTime we would get on FaceTime at like 3 p.m. and we would not get off of the phone. I am not exaggerating, until like 5 or 6 in the morning. Like, we would just be on FaceTime for 14 hours. So it was like at the very beginning, it was like cute because everybody just thought, oh, this is a little 2-week vacation we gonna have where we don't really have to do nothing. Like, it didn't happen that way, you know, not in the United States. And so I think, as you know, there's only so many things you can talk about for 14 hours on FaceTime every single day. So like that stopped happening. And then I really had to like be in my apartment by myself with my cat, you know? And so I think really being able to close ranks with people who you love and cherish, who love and cherish you, and who are, you know, with you in support and in spirit, I think has been very interesting to see who I still talk to often or at all now in December of 2020 versus February or March. And that shifts and that has changed, and not necessarily for any negative reason, but like we are all kind of operating at like diminished capacity. Staying inside and not being able to do things for a whole year almost is like not fun and not normal, and a very traumatic experience. Not even bringing like up anything else that has happened this year, like strictly Corona, very traumatic. But you know, there's a lot of like civil unrest, social injustice, and like that also for Black people and people of color is very, very traumatic. And like we're still expected, like I have a day job and I'm still expected to come in and, you know, like function normally. Like I literally physically have to go into the office, and it's like, y'all, this isn't normal. And I think something, just to wrap it up, that I'm like trying to take forward into 2021 is just to be more in tune with like what capacity I'm currently at, like if I'm fully charged or not, and like being able to do things kind of like Yasmin was saying, like true self-care, being purposeful and doing things with intention to recharge and to rest my body and my spirit. I remember at the very beginning of the year, I honestly think on New Year's, if not the week of, I remember I practiced ancestral veneration, and I remember sitting and like asking my ancestors, okay, like how's this year going to be for me? Because I was like, 2020 is going to be great. And I literally remember them laughing, and I didn't know why. And I was about to tweet about it, and it's still in my drafts. I like didn't send it because I didn't know how to explain it on Twitter. And this was before the voice tweet, so I couldn't just say it. But I remember literally them just cackling. And I was like, not y'all being rude. Like, not y'all can't answer the question. And then 2 months later, we're in lockdown. And I'm like, oh, this happens to me a lot. Like spirit kind of tells me something in a roundabout way, and I'm learning to be more in tune with those messages and understand like, okay, if your spirit's laughing at you, maybe you need to investigate. Or if maybe your spirit's telling you, be careful, you need to be like, okay, bitch, let me lock my doors because bitch, my car about to get broken into. Like these things happen all the time, and I just need to learn, and I am learning to be more in tune with that, because I think this has just been such a reflective period that if we do not leave this year or this space without learning to truly reflect and understand the messages being sent to us, like, baby, you know, like them old cartoons when the pianos used to fall onto people, that's going to be us. And we can't let that be us.
Right. Yes. One thing, this is the fast money round. a term that I learned in 2020 was getting left over there, leaving people, places, things, nouns over there. So quickly, what are you leaving over there in 2020? And I'll start. What and who, are you leaving in 2020? For me, I am leaving anything that does not believe in me. And if that is a couch, a bed that I sit on that breaks, you didn't believe in me, bitch. And it's happened before. So things that don't believe in me, and in anybody or anything that, if I am saying, hey, like, oh my God, I'm so excited for this, I want to do this, I have a vision for this, and they're like, you're getting left over there, because that means you don't believe in me. You're not with this train. And I'm always on that midnight train to Georgia. So if your ass is asleep, you are getting left over there. And so I think it's things like that I am like, oh no, like I want to exist, and I want to exist freely and be that because I can. So quickly, what are y'all leaving over there, Popcorn?
I'm leaving over there not knowing my worth and relying on other people to tell me what I'm worth.
Good.
Hi, I am leaving. What I'm leaving over there is trying to spread myself too thin for people who don't give a damn.
Period.
Mine's is kind of similar to Jasmine's. What I'm leaving over there is me not believing in myself, because I do that a lot. I don't believe in myself, but I hype up other people so much, and I don't give myself that same energy. So yeah. And then I also read on Twitter, something said, imagine if whatever you thought of, imagine it going the way you want it to go, like put more energy towards that, because it might just happen. So yeah.
I am also leaving self-doubt over there. And also just like that idea, or that feeling when I have a really bad relationship with like shame feelings. So just like licking my wounds and not doing anything about it and being like, I hate myself. That's going over there as much as I can.
I will also be leaving self-doubt, self-defamation, and the need to seek approval and find joy through that, and rather than the work that I'm actually doing and what I actually find joy in.
I am leaving behind anyone or anything that makes me feel small, or like I have to hide or minimize parts of myself.
I am leaving over there being a yes woman, as Kaya said before, and just feeling like I have to put other people's wants before what I want, as long with everything that has been said, self-doubt, self-deprecation. Yeah.
Yes. I'm leaving making the familiar choice that no longer serves me. Because oftentimes I do the same thing, even though it doesn't serve me. Like, why do I continue doing that? So I'm leaving that in the past.
Yes, I'm also leaving self-doubt. I'm also leaving that feeling that is like that hesitation you have before you make a decision. I want to leave that behind, because there's so many things that I tell myself, I'm not going to do that. So we're going to leave that behind in 2020. Bye-bye.
I would like to leave giving people the benefit of the doubt over there. When people tell me who they are, I will listen, bringing that over here.
Yes. We get that over here. You're correct, Vince. Yes. Who else it going?
I am going to leave all energy that no longer serves me. And I am also leaving boxes that I don't fit in. Okay.
Period.
Same with everyone. Self-doubt, all that, staying over there.
Yeah. I think also, like, us all leaving people who don't understand us. I think people who walk into a room and they immediately are like, and you are trying to work around and do everything and shape shift and to do things that they'll never understand and they don't want. And just existing, this whole show, A Christmas Offering, everything that we're talking about. And I think as women of color and Black women and trans femmes and all and gender nonconforming, you know, feminine, like things like that, like exist. Take stock of everything that you have and own it and be that. Do not sell yourself short. Do not sell out. Be everything that you are here for. And I think for me specifically, I have learned that every day my existence is on the line. Every day my human is on the line. Every day my soul being on this earth is on the line. So I am going full-fledged and full force with everything that I got. Because if a nigga ends me tomorrow, at least y'all bitches know what the fuck was up. At least y'all know how to continue this legacy and what was next. I don't ever want to leave the world with nothing. You know what I mean? And I believe that is the true power of living for your inner sis and living for sis. So we have 3 minutes left. All I want to say is thank you all so much for not only this time with the Christmas offering, but this time with our offering, this whole year, for giving to each other, for giving to me, for collaborating and existing with us and existing with me and creating this beautiful piece of art that people are about to watch. Are y'all excited? How do y'all feel? What are y'all thinking? What do y'all think people are gonna say? Y'all chime in. How do y'all feel?
Child, I'm having a watch party, honey.
Yeah. No.
Definitely excited for all the live tweeting that's coming. I'm very excited about that. The girls will be watching. Very excited about it.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, I think that's going to be my favorite part, honestly. Of course, the show, like that is the centerpiece. But I think seeing what people like are saying as it's happening is such a wonderful experience that like doesn't happen in theater. And I'm so glad that it's a part of like how our offering community operates, because people on Twitter are so funny.
Yeah. Yes. Bye.